things that we latch onto, and that was one that was definitely around very early in the writing of East, that we knew we were going to come back to and finish. That one and Holding On were both a decent way developed. Yeah.
Anyone else have anything to add?
I was just gonna, I mean, it's not important, but we also toured on Beggars in that break too, so there's like, didn't we? Or was that after it was?
I don't.
Yeah, but I do agree, like, there is a randomness of it, and we do, ever since doing Alchemy, I do think we kind of have the ability to draw from all those sources, so it's cool to see the way songs develop, even from our perspective. Just somebody writes something, you're like, oh, I can use that, like, let's just build this thing off of it, and we're kind of limitless, and thanks to people supporting music sounding like anything, also it's really cool. Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about the production process for the album? Were there any challenges? What was that like?
I mean, I think one of the, we can talk, what do you think?
I said Tepe.
No, but, well, I'll talk from a non-technical aspect, but I think one thing that influenced this a lot was we were gathering ideas for a long time, started sharing those around. We're kind of building demos. So there's some back and forth before we were actually really jamming on a lot of it, but the actual time that we put the songs together was basically 4 weeks. And just doing kind of, 9 to 5-ish weekdays, and that was it, and that was, I think, a lot more compressed than we've normally done.
Yeah.
And
it was actually the first time we've done it since Major Minor, because of like geography, and then writing for Horizons was like
drawn out and
COVID
stuff, yeah.
madness. We didn't know if we could be together, so
Yeah.
it was the most focused, like, together jamming we've done since pre-hiatus.
And again, you've got to get things done for tour,
Right.
because that's how you live. So we were a little probably late on the draw on this, and realized we have to finish this. We have to start tracking by February.
Yeah, there was kind of like
That was
a day or two of pretty frantic, like, okay, we need to like create like a calendar schedule and hit these marks.
Yeah, and then so we decided to really lean into it and let it be kind of a feature, not a bug, and do what felt good and not overthink it, because we've definitely killed some songs that were probably could have been cool by overthinking them and taking too long to develop them. And so yeah, we were just recording every day when we do a jam. By the end of the day, we'd be like, all right, here's where it's at, and then maybe revisit it the next week and be like, okay, these are the cool things happening, pick it up right there. And so a lot of the coolest stuff on the record, I think, is born out of just like the first things that we played when we started jamming on it. I know the one I think of a lot is like, Tepe's guitar parts at the beginning of Albatross are just totally just like, and we're just like, we listen back and that's fine.
Yeah. Just super impulsive and reactive instead of like calculated, where you're overthinking stuff.
I do feel like we were intentional too, though. Of like, I remember we talking a lot about like, let's lean into
Yes.
to the time crunch and let that be kind of like almost like a tool.
Yeah. I think it worked. Yeah, it worked well.
Yeah.
Oh wait, do you want to say anything about actual engineering production? Oh, the other thing that we did was we invested in like a couple more mics and things so that we could set everything up and have it ready to go. Because before we'd have to turn the whole room over between drums and doing other stuff. So we kind of set the whole room up to be able to record anything at any day.
Yeah, so everything was mic'd up and ready to go. So you know, we could pivot from drums to bass, and then from bass to guitar or vocals or whatever at any given time. So yeah, I think
That was
it's
helpful.
one of those things where you do it and you're like, wow, why didn't we do this before? Yeah.
All right. On Visu, you sampled a Japanese music box. You used Morse code before, also on Visu. In July, you guys posted a picture to Instagram showing Tepe recording on what appeared to be a children's xylophone at a playground.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that experience and just how the band often looks for those kinds of creative ways to add elements to songs?
Yeah, that came about. I had the idea for that back in when we were doing East because I had the concept for Unitive East, which is the last song on that record, building these different time things on top of each other, and that one used piano. I was like, all right, I want the next one from Unitive West to be the same concept, but it's going to be minor and on a different kind of soundscape. And then I was taking my kids to soccer practice, and there's this playground where there's tons of these tines, different kinds of bells and bars, and the kids can just be trying to make the most awful sounds on this, and it sounds rad because they've made it to where it's all in the same key, but different ones only have certain parts of the scales and stuff. It's really cool. So I went around and recorded everything in the park, so I would know all the notes that were available, and then I built basically like a practice version of it, just sampling those. Figured out it would work, this is what it's gonna sound like, and then we had to record it there with real, you know, mic and stuff, but there's tons of people at the park normally, so we're like, we'll go late. Closes at 10, we'll just show up at 10, right? It'll be quiet. Well, first of all, we're gonna show up at like 10:30, but then we were going.
No, I think we were saying like 11.
It was like 9:30, and we're all, I'm tired. We're texting each other, we're like, let's just go now. So we went, and we realized how loud the world is. There's just cars and planes, birds, dogs. I don't know what, there were so many birds yapping, and it was like dark.
Fucking birds.
But yeah, we thought it was, we couldn't really monitor it there because we were just had the computer, and it turned out okay. But it was, it took us way longer than we thought because we kept redoing takes.
All right.
I don't know. That's the story. It's actually, I've been stoked how many people have responded to those two songs because it's just a weird idea that I had, and I was like, this could be cool, but I don't know if it's gonna really feel like a song, but it translated well, so that's cool.
The funny thing too is that my kids had soccer practice at the same park around the same time, and I had recorded just like a voice memo of kids playing, because I was just sitting there and I was like, this sounds really cool. I think I had the same thought as you, but I just didn't flesh it out like you did. But I just recorded, I was thinking maybe we could use it as like some sort of weird sound bed or something like that, but yeah.
All right. I know it's a tough question, but for each of you, is there a track or a couple tracks on the new album that really stand out to you that you're especially proud of?
Yeah. I'm talking too much already.
All of them.
No, I don't want to go first.
I'll speak for you.
Oh, that would be great.
So the loop in Undertow, Riley made, and it was there for the Horizons East, and I remember hearing it and just playing it on loop over and over again. I was like, I could listen to this forever. And Dustin made the beginnings of the vocals over it, and I was like, oh, this has to be on it. I was actually really bummed that it wasn't on East, but we just hadn't developed it, whatever. But I'm really happy with how that song turned out, and I think you did an amazing job.
There was no heavy part back then.
There's no heavy part, yeah. It was just chill.
Yeah.